This is the best poison build in Black Myth Wukong. Poison Bane is a powerful status you can apply to your enemies to help deal damage over time and can be leveraged to maximize the damage of the Destined One even further. Welcome back everyone, thank you so much for clicking on the video. This build is mainly for endgame since most of the equipment can only be obtained after chapter 4, but I will say it carried me through the entire second half of the game and was incredibly efficient against some of the most difficult bosses. Now this build has sort of a double-edged sword playstyle, and what I mean by that is, in order to reach maximum damage, you also need to apply poison to yourself. That may seem counterintuitive at first, but thanks to the armor and curios on the build, the trade-off is well worth it because you'll be able to melt through enemy health bars. The main staff you will be using on this build is the legendary Spider Celestial Staff. This staff has 85 attack power, 12% extra crit hit chance, and a powerful unique effect that lets you heal and apply poison to your enemies with your charged heavy attacks. The Spider Celestial Staff is an upgraded version of the epic Chitin Staff and can only be crafted after defeating the Violet Spider boss in chapter 4. This powerful staff synergizes extremely well with the Centipede armor, giving you a massive damage boost. The legendary Centipede armor set offers high defense, incredible perks, and also looks really cool. Do note that some of the materials required to craft this armor set can only be obtained in chapter 3 and 4, so it is going to require sufficient progress in the main story. The 2-piece bonus for this set massively reduces the continuous damage received from being in a poisoned state. Not only does this give you considerable defense against enemies who deal poison damage, but it also makes you more efficient in combat since the 4-piece bonus significantly increases attack while suffering from a poisoned state. This means whenever you are poisoned, you will deal extra damage with your attacks. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but you can actually apply poison to yourself without having to rely on poison enemies to attack you, which can be really situational and rare. There's actually a soak in the game called the Death Stinger that you can add to your health potion and will put you in a poisoned state every time you drink it. What's nice is, even though you're poisoning yourself, the damage over time is incredibly slow, since the 2-piece bonus of the armor set massively reduces poison damage over time. Being in a poisoned state also massively increases your attack power, which is amazing. You can even add the Chojin Yin belt hook item to your build, which increases poison resistance even further. The best stance to use for this build is the Smash stance because it allows you to move around freely while charging a heavy attack and can be used to charge while sprinting if you purchase the appropriate upgrade, making it a great stance to initiate fights with. Running in with a fully charged heavy attack can melt enemy health bars and even crush weaker foes with a single blow. For spells, I love using Cloud Step because it synergizes so well with the Smash stance, giving you more time to charge your heavy attack while running without having to worry about being interrupted. The Cloud Step spell can be incredibly useful in situations where you need more time to set up an attack or even drink a health potion. I'm also using the Immobilize spell, which is easily the best spell in the entire game since it freezes your enemy in place and gives you a long window of time to stack damage, apply poison, and unleash a fully charged heavy attack. The Duplicate spell is also very efficient for nuking your enemies with tons of damage since your duplicates will also have the ability to apply poison and even cast spells with the right upgrades, making it almost impossible for your enemies to react. The best spirit to use for this build is the Poison Prince. This spirit allows you to stab your foes with your stinger from range, immediately activate Poison State, and also inject venom onto the ground, amplifying your damage to any target that stands inside. Overall, I have to say this is probably one of the best builds you can make in Black Myth Wukong since it puts your enemies into a poison state, which deals massive damage over time, amplifies your damage every time poison is present, and also works against every single enemy in the game. Let's break down this build piece by piece, starting with the staff. This legendary Spider Celestial Staff has 85 attack power, 12% extra crit hit chance, and a powerful unique effect that lets you heal and apply poison to enemies with your charged heavy attacks. This staff can only be crafted after defeating the Violet Spider boss in chapter 4. The vessel you use is going to change depending on which boss you are fighting, but the Weaver's Needle is incredibly useful for dealing more damage over time, and it can also distract enemies and disrupt their attacks, giving you more time to charge your heavies. The best spirit to use is the Poison Prince. I love this spirit because it adds a ranged damage source to the build, because you can stab foes with your stinger from range. It's going to immediately activate the poison state onto them, and it will also inject venom onto the ground, which amplifies your damage to any enemy that stands inside of the venom, making it the perfect choice for a poison build. For the armor, I have the full 4-piece centipede set. The 2-piece bonus for this set massively reduces the continuous damage received from being in a poison state, and the 4-piece bonus significantly increases attack while suffering from a poison state. This means whenever you are poisoned, you will deal extra damage with your attacks. The first curios I'm using is the Amber Prayer Beads, which can be found in Chapter 5. This curios increases the speed of building up focus points, which is important for this build since you can only apply poison with a charged heavy attack. I also have the Chao Jin Yin Belt Hook, which is found at the beginning of Chapter 4. This curios increases poison resistance even further, stacking with the centipede set. And lastly, the best curios on this build, the Celestial Birthstone Fragment. This curios is obtained from the final chapter of the game after killing the Ling Ba Ba frog boss. This powerful curios ignores all 4 Bane's resistances on an enemy, which means you can apply poison to every boss even if they're resistant to poison. This curios is the key to taking this build a step further, making it effective against every single enemy in the game. Now, your skill tree choices will depend on your player level, but you should be around level 100 once you reach Chapter 6. For Foundation, it's important to unlock all stamina skills up until Composure, so you can execute more dodges with your stamina bar, and even continue your combos after dodging, which is important for building up focus. All skills in the martial arts tree are worth it since they make your light attacks stronger, and unlocks the staff spin skill to help block projectiles and build focus in the process. For survival, your best options are Wrathful Escalation, which increases your crit chance, Wrathful Might, which increases crit hit damage, and the Surging Momentum skill, which increases your overall attack power even further. For staff stances, all you need is the Smash stance for this build, and some of the other skills to the side here, like Versatility, which increases the damage of your combos, and Quick Hand, which increases your charging speed. For Mysticism, your main spell will be Immobilize, so you'll be investing all of your points there to make the spell as effective as possible. The same principle is also going to apply to Alteration. Cloud Step will be prioritized over Rock Solid, so I would recommend maxing out this skill tree here to the left. Cloud Step is amazing to help you build up charged heavies without having to worry about the enemy attacking you for a short period of time. For Strand, you should be maxing out your Duplicate spell to make your clones more efficient. They'll deal more damage, have more health, and can also apply spells during boss fights, giving you more opportunities to strike. I encourage you guys to give this build a try. It works against every enemy and every boss in the game, deals damage over time, which can be useful during long boss fights, and also gives you a massive damage boost, making you feel incredibly powerful during endgame. Thanks again for clicking on the video and sticking around until the end. If you're looking for an early game build for Black Myth Wukong, I just recently dropped a Pilgrim Pillar Stance build which crushes enemies in the early chapters of the game. I'll put a link at the top of the screen right now for those who are interested. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more Black Myth Wukong, Souls-like, or any action RPG content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on those bell notifications so you are notified every time I drop a new video.